And the devil was trying to keep me from telling y'all the real reasons cowards like to go ghost. But I don't know what it was, but we back. And I think where I left off was asking who is real enough to admit, by putting I down in the chat, who is real enough to admit that they've been ghosted by somebody they truly cared about. And I just wanted to qualify before we got into the conversation about why cowards. And I mean that specifically because there's a difference between a man who genuinely has a death in the family and he shuts down, or you've done something to really, really hurt him and he told you about it beforehand. He told you that you hurt him, or he told you what would hurt him and you did that and it was blatantly obvious that you wanted to crush this man and therefore he left. That's one thing. But whenever you're connected with somebody, y'all are talking, getting to know each other, you're going deeper into vulnerability, you're sharing things with him you've never shared with anybody else. He's seemingly sharing things with you he doesn't share with just anybody else, and then he just vanishes. There's no warning. There's no words. There's no downward momentum that y'all aren't doing okay. It hurts. And I was saying this in the last one before we got cut off. People play tough. People play like they can't be hurt on social media all day. But especially when you've suffered some type of abandonment in childhood, and then you get to your adulthood, and you done did all of this work, this, that, and the other, to not be insecure in a relationship, but you open yourself up to somebody, you let your guard down, they make it seem like it's safe to let your guard down, and the moment you do, the moment that you decide you're going to give them something, you're going to open yourself up in a way that you don't open yourself up to just anybody, they ghost you. Put I down in the chat if you've ever dealt with that before. Put I down in the chat if you've ever dealt with that before. I'm going to tell you why this happens. And the reason why is because typically, the reason why I'm telling you is because when you get ghosted, one of the most painful parts is all the questions, the uncertainty, if it was your fault, if it was their fault. And that uncertainty, that place where you just don't know what happened and why or what to do about it, it keeps you stuck. It keeps you ruminating. Yeah, I'm back, Toby, I had to come back for this one. If it don't work this time, too bad. We'll just try to pick up tomorrow or something like that. The first reason why a man will ghost you, and it's coming from a place of his cowardice, not from a place of what you did wrong, is because he's trying to juggle multiple serious relationships or dating partners. You see, I'm not a huge fan of dating multiple people on a serious level. Of course, entertain who you want to entertain. Talk to who you want to talk to. Get your numbers, keep your contact information, et cetera, et cetera. But what happens whenever a man tries to juggle multiple serious relationship partners or multiple serious potentials is he gets too deep in to just pull away whenever one is showing the most potential, most promise. And therefore, he tries to avoid the heartbreak in hopes that she'll just get tired of him. He'll pull back and neglect and redirect his energy because he doesn't have the integrity to just say, hey, look, I know we've gotten deep into this thing and I've enjoyed every minute of it. However, I'm ready to pretty much make my choice and I've decided to go a different direction. I'm going to invest somewhere else and I don't want to hold you up. Instead of him having the integrity, a coward is just going to fade away and hope that you do the part that he has no integrity to do. That's what a coward will do. So again, this is for anybody that still got some lingering hurt left over. You said what to do in this case. And see, that's why this whole conversation was spurred on. Let me see what your name is. Pamela. This whole conversation was spurred on. Was encouraged by a woman that watched my masterclass, Breaking the Soul Tie, because you really got to break the soul tie. And she wasn't really asking a question. She actually was more so giving me feedback that she had gotten peace from breaking the soul tie. And I think it was 6 or 7 years since the guy had ghosted her. That question of what if, what happened, what did I do? Did I do something wrong? Should I open myself up to somebody else if this was capable of making me feel like this? She didn't know how to prevent it. She didn't know how to fix it. And so I know that probably is your favorite answer. Is like, oh, break the soul tie. I'll break that down in a moment. I did it on the masterclass, actually, that I pinned down here in the comments. But the second reason, because I got to move kind of quick. I got to go get the kids. So I'm going to move kind of quick. The second reason why a man will ghost you, and this doesn't happen very often, but it does happen, is if a man fears that you're pregnant. If a man fears that he got you pregnant, that's why you see a lot of people and they be breaking up or something like that, and then all of a sudden there's a baby on the way. A lot of times a guy will ghost you in advance if he knows he's a future deadbeat dad. And I'm not saying it always ends up in you being pregnant, but if he knows he didn't pull out or something happened and he's scared, because fear is typically at the root of why a coward will ghost. That's what a coward is, ridden with fear, and will act on it in a way to protect his own interests at the interest of anybody else he's dealing with, no matter how unfair it is, no matter how dishonest it is. But he will ghost you just so you get discouraged to keep the baby, so you get discouraged to come after him for child support, just so he can avoid accountability before you even actually start showing. Now, again, that doesn't happen very often. But for those of y'all who have been in that situation, that's why. Another reason why a coward will ghost is because he's a people pleaser. And I'm not saying this is some malicious dude that wants to just break you down and ruin you, but a people pleaser doesn't want to let anybody down. A people pleaser is typically what you call the quote unquote nice guy. That's probably why you started liking him to begin with. You felt like he was a decent guy. You feel like he had, you know what I'm saying? He's decent. He got manners. He's kind, but he wasn't kind. He was nice. He wasn't kind, he was nice. Whatever it took to keep you from being disappointed. And you know what, a people pleaser, they can't set boundaries, not just for themselves. They can't set boundaries with nobody else to protect the relationship either. So eventually you was going to lose respect for that people pleaser. But if you noticed, I'm giving you like, if you saw red flags in this man and he was a people pleaser, he was just so nice. He probably was faking. That's a facade. The people-pleasing man is really keeping up a facade that he's happy with everything, has no problem with everything. He's just saying what he knows you wants to hear. And then when his truth is something he knows you definitely don't want to hear, he just falls off the face of the earth. Another reason why a coward will ghost you, so you can stop blaming yourself. As a matter of fact, this goes along with what I just said. Again, the facade is starting to break. The facade is starting to crack. He can't keep it up no more. Now, you got some dudes, and they just a-holes, and they'll take off that mask and take whatever come with it. They don't care about you being upset and letting them know how disappointed you are. But again, if you got a man who's a people pleaser, that facade start to crack. And it may not be him being a nice guy. It may be he done put up a facade like he got money and he don't. So his car got repoed, or you starting to ask, why can't you come over to his house, or whatever the case. And he know that facade is starting to crack. He might got kids he ain't told you about. He might got a whole family he ain't told you about. When that facade start to break, ghost. Poof, be gone. Another reason why a coward rather, should I say, because I don't want to use the word man so loosely, will ghost you is because it's easier to justify his absence than to justify his rejection of you. If a man got to a point when he felt like, you know what, this ain't working for me, et cetera, but he may still have use for you. On the other side, he may still want to engage with you, connect with you, get something from you. He'll ghost you just to leave that bridge unburned permanently. So in ghosting, he leaves himself an opportunity to come back and say, oh, you know, stuff was just hard, and, you know, and my goldfish died, and everything else under the sun. It just bit my tongue. Cats just kept biting my tongue, and I just couldn't say. I needed space. I needed time. This wasn't working for me, etc. It's a lot easier to say that and come back from it than it is to say, yeah, I didn't want you at the time. I decided I wanted to quit this, but now I want to start back over. Or maybe we can still just keep it physical. A lot easier. And somebody asked what to do about it. Like I said, break the soul tie. You still affected by that man that ghosted you X amount of months, years ago? Honestly, it can be last week. You break the soul tie, it's like instant freedom. It's what you feel. If you've ever been over, like dealt with a person, and then one day you just like, oh my gosh, I was hurting over them. Now I don't care. I see them different. That's the feeling of a soul tie breaking. But there's some people who are much more deeply ingrained in you, And so it's harder to get to that point. And if you're struggling to get to that point, that moment of freedom, that aha moment that you really don't need this person, what was you even tripping over? What did you even find attractive in them to begin with? If you have not gotten there with any particular person, you need to break the soul tie. And I lay out the step-by-step strategy to do exactly that in the masterclass. The one right here pinned in the comments. Break the soul tie. That's how to get your emotional and mental and spiritual freedom papers from a person that don't deserve you, whether they ghosted, whether they hurt you, abused you, betrayed you, etc. If you have not yet, click the link down here. Alphas do not typically ghost. Alphas actually never ghost. Ever. They don't ghost. They will leave you if you're tripping, but they won't ghost. There's a difference. But that feeling, that it's just like the heavens open up, the skies open up, and your peace comes back, your happiness comes back. That's the feeling of a soul tie breaking. You don't even care if their name get brought up. It don't really faze you. You don't care if they found happiness without you. Don't care. And even though you were crying your eyes out, you were staying up all night, you were worry sick. Whenever that's you, that's when you've broken that soul tie. If you have not gotten there yet, again, I explain exactly how to do that in the free masterclass. Break the soul tie. Moral of the story is this. When a man ghosts you, when a man, an alpha male, a man, an evolved man, quote unquote, ghosts you, first off, that don't happen. He's going to leave. If he's not happy, he's going to leave and communicate why he's leaving. If you didn't do anything trifling or blatantly disrespectful, he's just going to let you know, hey, this ain't it. When a coward ghosts you, it leaves you with questions. He left just before you realized who he truly was. And that's the question. Were you really right? You didn't get a chance to get the proof, the evidence that he was exactly who he proved himself to be, because he's left you with the uncertainty. And the only thing that you can and even need to do is break that soul tie so you can position yourself for the man that you don't have to keep in the afterlife, because he wants to spend the rest of his life with you here and now. But those are just my thoughts, man. I'm your internet big brother looking out for you per usual. If anything that I said gave you value, all I ask is that you hit the share button so somebody else can get it too. And if you have not yet and you want access to the masterclass, the encore of Break the Soul Tie, I put it down here in the comments. It's also in the caption whenever you back out. It's a masterclass. It's about a masterclass now, about an hour and a half. Me dropping gems on how you can get your instant emotional, mental, and